Yachty dropped a new album, Dave. Lil Boat 3. Uh, how are we feeling about this Lil Yachty album? It's fun. I'm laughing because I did not expect to be talking about this today, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is where quarantine has gotten us, where we're going back to the well.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, to Yachty's credit, he was out there in Atlanta peacefully protesting, I believe alongside some other famous people. I believe he was with Malcolm Brogdon of the NBA, or Jaylen Brown. I forget who he was with, but he was with other people. And that's something really cool to see, because this is Yachty's album release week. You know, he should be all about his bag, promoting his music during an already hard time to promote oneself, obviously with quarantine. But he wasn't. He didn't really give a shit, and I respect that. And yeah, Lil Bo 3, man. We didn't talk about the last mixtape he dropped, Nothing to Prove, the second one in 2018. It was a lot like the first one in 2018, Lil Bo 2, which we did talk about. And, come to this point, I think Yachty is someone where I generally appreciate Yachty's presence and charisma as like a personality and brand more than I do most of his music. But I think after listening to Lil Boat 3, there are things to like about Yachty, and he's had some decent features of late. I think he's truly, like right now, still a less is more artist. I think he goes a longer way when he's collaborating with people on his own songs, or he's a guest on someone else's song. But yeah, sometimes Yachty, he doesn't stand out when he's on his own and doing the full-on quality control trap music that he does sometimes. It's nothing special, you know. It's like you're on the same label as Migos. You don't have to try and make some Migos songs because that's not your strength. So yeah, it depends what he's doing. Yachty, he's always been hit or miss.
Yeah, with Yachty, it's listening to this album, I feel like the times I appreciate him most is mostly when he's doing the hooks for the songs, but not necessarily when he's doing the verses. I think, kind of like you said, the less is more a bit with him. And the songs that I really found myself enjoying on this, and I thought there were some decent moments. Obviously, TD is a standout, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like Oprah's Bank Account, when he's just kind of grooving on that hook, and he just sounds really good, and allowing Drake to kind of shine on this. I think that's when he's at his best. Some of these other moments, like I don't know, I found a lot of it, I guess, just forgettable in a lot of senses. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing is, he doesn't vary it enough. He doesn't vary these songs up enough, in my opinion, to make anything really stand out. And I don't see him as like the type of lyricist where he's just going to be able to get by on his bars. So it's really going to have to be the catchiness. And when everything sounds the same, or at least that's kind of how I felt about it, it just kind of left me feeling meh. What stood out to you, if anything, on this?
Yeah, I think Oprah's Bank Account is kind of like the perfect distillation of what we want from Lil Yachty, where that is a melodic hook from Yachty. It's a funny, airy sentiment, the song. The music video, which is a long video, it's hilarious, where he's literally dressed up as Oprah, and when he's interacting with Drake and DaBaby as themselves, and he does this. I think my favorite part is at the end where he's like talking to DaBaby, and he's like, "When you say let's go, where are you going?" Like I think he's a really self-aware guy. And sometimes it really comes across in the music. I think Oprah's Bank Account is a great example of that. And that song is doing really well for him. And I think it makes a lot of sense. So that's like the clear highlight in terms of like his strengths. But he really got some great features on TD, didn't he? A$AP Rocky, Tyler, the Creator, and Tierra Whack. That was quite unexpected. I like that a lot.
And if I was going to tell you he's going to get those three on a track with him, who would your money have been on to really crush it? Probably Tyler or A$AP. It's like Runaway. But no, Tierra Whack bodies that track. Like she comes on at the end and just is like an absolute jolt of lightning. It's unbelievable. And I just feel like it just made me want to go back and listen to her stuff again after hearing that. I wanted to go back and just run through Whack World. I mean, it's only 15 minutes, so we can do that very quickly. But I can't wait to hear more from her. So this track, if nothing else, got me excited for Tierra Whack's album whenever that's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, other than that, like I thought Pierre Bourne's beat on Range Rover Sports Truck was awesome. Just out there, like a Pierre beat is, but And Little Keed actually I thought sounded pretty good, but Yachty's hook was super repetitive and dull, so kind of song kind of falls apart there. Yeah, I mean, like, and there's moments where he's like fine, like on Split, whole time, like the second single, he's
Hmm.
fine on that, and like Black Jesus stuff like that. But I'd rather listen to some of his recent guest spots. I think he's pretty consistent with that. Get It Bussin', the Tato song, he's awesome on that. Crunk Dead Mob, the Duke Deuce remix. Yachty, I think, is really cool. He actually has good couplets once in a while, and almost like interesting flows. It just doesn't seem to come across on a lot of his own songs. It's usually when he's a guest. So I don't know why that is, but he's kind of consistent with that, right? His best moments on stuff like Broccoli and I
Mm.
Spy and Mixtape by Chance. That's kind of been his MO from the whole time. He always seems to shine on other people's songs. But and heck, he wrote Act Up for City Girls. So like he can write a good trap song. He just doesn't seem to
Yeah.
make him well for himself for whatever reason. So,
Yeah, it's it. I
shout
don't
out
know.
Lil Yachty. Still
Well,
only 22.
that's actually pretty crazy. He's only 22. There's so much room for him to grow and maybe try some things. I feel like he's kind of destined to fall into that like 2 Chainz like lane though, where he just kind of drops in sometimes and will either sing like crazy hooks that are really catchy or have these moments where he just kind of like comes on a track and it's just this breath of fresh air. But I never go back to a two Chains album really. Like and we've reviewed some 2 Chains albums, so that some of it's pretty good. But for the most part, I just see him as like a role player in a lot of ways. I feel like Yachty's kind of in that same lane, but maybe I'll be wrong on that. We already put one of the songs TD, which we talked about, onto our Nowstalgia Best of 2020 playlist. So check that out on Spotify.